Hey there, it's Graciela here. In today's video, we'll be learning how to extract the file content of an image that is stored in an image column in a SharePoint list. Currently, if we are working with a SharePoint list that has an image column and we have a trigger or we have a getItem action, the image column, the content of it, is not present in the payload. It's not present in the getItem or getItems or in the trigger. The place inside the SharePoint site where these images are stored has changed over the years. So for now, for us, the best way for us to make sure where this is being stored is to use the inspect option that we have available in the developer tools of all the major browsers. So we'll just right click on any of the places of the website and then click on inspect. And then we will go to the network section. I'm just going to double click on the image so it will open. And once I open the image, you can see that there are some actions that are being performed here that whenever I click on it. And we can see this one here has some information. It almost looks like the image that I was clicking. The thumbnail looks similar, so that's what I know. This is what I need to look at. So the network tab usually shows us the different actions or different things that the website is performing to give information, to send it to the server, and things like that. So in this case, we see that this is the action that is getting the content of the image and is doing a GET request to this URL. So let me copy this URL and I'm going to paste it in a notepad, this one that I have here. And let's do the same thing for the next one. I will double click and we can see here, this is the GET action, and we have a similar URL that is doing the request too. So let's put this here and put the other one below. So now we can see that whenever we're trying to see the content of the image from SharePoint itself, what we see is the actual SharePoint URL, the site, then we have the list and then the name of the list, and then we have something that kind of a folder or a path that says attachments, and then we have the ID, because this too is the actual ID of the record, and this one is the record ID as well. If I show or hide the ID, we're gonna see that this one is number 1 and this one is number 2. And then we have the file name. This is not the file name that I uploaded it with. I used a different file name. We can see if I upload something, pretty much SharePoint will always rename it to something that looks like this, like reserved attachment, some kind of characters, and then the actual extension here at the end. So we can see that everything before the file name is kind of predictable in a way, because it's always sites, list, the name of the list, attachments, and then the ID. So we're gonna use some Power Automate actions to extract information to be able to get to this whole path, and then we'll be able to get the file content and use it for different purposes in our workflow. So I already have here my workflow that I created already in the environment, and I'm going to just add a trigger and say that whenever a new item is added to SharePoint, I want this flow to start. So when an item is created, and I'm going to select my SharePoint site and then the SharePoint list, which is image. It's here. And then the first thing that we need to do is to know what's the file name. So we're going to do that. We're going to extract the file name by using the HTTP to SharePoint action, which is the one here. We're going to use send an HTTP request to SharePoint, and we're going to rename this to get file name, so we remember that's what we're doing. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect this to the SharePoint site. We're gonna leave this as get because we want to extract the information. So it's just a get. We're getting the file name, and this is what we're going to write in the next field, which is the URL of the endpoint we want to hit. So in this case, it's always going to be _API/lists/getByTitle, and then in between parentheses and double quotes, we're going to write the SharePoint list name, which in this case, it's this one that we have here. So I'm going to put it there, and then slash, and then items, and in between parentheses, we are going to just pass the ID of the item that is being created. And in the last, after the last slash, we are just going to add the column name, which is in this case, it's event image. So let's put it there, and then I will go ahead and save. So we can see now what this looks like. We're gonna go ahead and add a new SharePoint item so we can see what this will return. So let's go ahead and test, and then test manually, and then test here. And I will just create a new item. And then save. And the flow has triggered. We can see that when an item is created, trigger doesn't have any reference to the event image column or anything at all. So that's why we need the action to get the file name. So here, once we send the request to get the file name on specifically that column and the item ID number 3, we can see that this returns this payload. We have this payload that starts with a D, and then we have the column name, and then here we have what's the file name, which is the one that SharePoint is assigning. So whatever is here is equivalent to the file name that SharePoint is assigning. And then we can see that the original image name is the one here. So, but the one that we need to get the information from SharePoint is this one here. So the next thing that we need to do is kind of parse the response to be able to get to this middle part, which is reserve attachments and then the file name and all of that. So there are different ways in which we could actually do this. So we can see that this response is a JSON format, but what is here is a JSON that it's a string that looks like a JSON. So we could actually use parse_automate's action, that is parse_automate function that is called JSON, to convert this information to a JSON format, and then we will be able to extract the file name. So for that, let's go back to edit, and I will add a new action here, and I will go ahead and add a compose action. I will just get the file content from the HTTP request so I can see the code. I'm going to place the cursor next to the dynamic content. I'm going to do Control-A and Control-C to copy everything, and I'm going to put it in my notepad. And you can see this is the result that is coming from SharePoint. So now what we need to do is we need to get to the D. So for that, let's just add a question mark, because that's the way that parse_automate works. For us to be able to get to the different attributes, we need to use the question mark, and then in between square brackets, and then in between the different, and in between single quotes, then is when we get the attribute name. So in this case, it's going to be D. And then the next attribute name is event image. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here. And let's replace the D by event image. And then we are going to convert this into JSON. So up to here, what we're doing is we are getting to this section. So this section is a text, but we want to convert it to a JSON so we can extract specifically the file name. So for now, let's do JSON and close parentheses. So let's copy this and remove here in the compose. I will go ahead and save and just open my previous execution so we can see the result of this JSON action that we just added, or this JSON function. So let's just quickly resubmit. And now we should be able to see this response. Instead of a text format, we're going to see it in an actual JSON that we can manipulate and actually get the file name. If I open the compose action, we're going to see, if I look on show row outputs, now it looks like something humans can actually use. So I'm just going to extract this file name using the same nomenclature that we were talking about, the question mark, square brackets, and then single quotes. And then I'm going to put file name. So if I copy these here and I replace it again, now we will actually get to the file name with this. So now we can just execute it to make sure we're getting the right information, and then we'll be ready to extract the file content and use it for any purpose in Power Automate. Okay. So yeah, we see here in the compose, we have the actual file name, it's a text. And now that we know the file name, we are ready to extract the file content from this path that we have here. So for that, we are going to use the action get file content using path from SharePoint, which is the one here. The first thing is going to be always select our SharePoint site and then the file path. For now, I will just select anything from here. And what we are going to do is just guide this same path that we have here. So in this case, it's going to be lists, then the list name, then the attachments, and then the ID. So let's replace all of that. And here, let's connect the final part to the compose that we had above. And then here, the ID is going to be replaced by the ID that comes from the trigger. And with this, we are able to replicate the same path that we had here, in which we have lists, then the name of the column, then attachments, then the ID, and then the file name, which is, we know, the last two parts are the ones that are going to be dynamic. So now we can just go ahead and save. And once it's done, we'll be able to test it and just pre-submit, then accept. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and add a new file here, event4, then save. And yeah, here now we can see we accessed to the file content, and here's the image type, here's the content type, and here's the actual content of the image. And then now we can use it wherever we want, like to send it in an email, or to, for example, store it in the Azure Blob storage, or to store it in another SharePoint site, or to send it to Dataverse, whatever we want to do. Now we have both the content type and the content to be able to do any action in Power Automate related to the file. And if I go back again and see the executions, the second one that I just submitted should be there already or running. So yeah, it's this one here. So now we can see that whenever we add something new, now using a combination of the HTTP request to extract the file name and get the file content, using the path, we are able to get to the content and use it in different actions. I hope that this was useful for you. See you next time.